Now, I do have some more stuff. So I want to talk about some of the polling and some of the Democrats' prospects rolling into the midterm elections. Actually, we're right up against the top of the hour, but this could be fairly quick. So why don't we roll through this and we'll get to chat a little bit later than we otherwise might. But unsurprisingly, polling suggests that a lot of people see through this, and I don't know how they couldn't, as we've been talking about. If you're bleeding money to pay for basic goods and services, we're not dealing with some sort of abstract ideological problem anymore. We're dealing with real financial struggles. And so an NPR poll that came out on Friday shows Republicans have a 7-point generic congressional ballot lead among independents. In other words, if you ask independent voters if they prefer to vote for a Republican or a Democrat in the fall, independents are saying Republican by a 7-point margin. Among Latino voters, Republicans have a 13-point edge. Among parents with children under 18, Republicans have a 21-point advantage. Overall, including voters of all demographics and party affiliation, the poll finds Republicans have a 3-point generic ballot lead, and it'd be wise to assume that any polling slant goes to the favor of the Democrats, meaning, at least as a matter of polling, these are devastating numbers for Democrats rolling into the midterms. Now, do you trust? Who cares,
though? Who cares?
Do you trust polls? Do you trust the other? This is what worries me, because in a sane world, that should inspire confidence. It would mean we roll into November and Democrats get absolutely wrecked, and we'll be on a path to at least stopping this, if not fixing some of it. But of course, this isn't a sane world. There's additional reporting this week that makes it makes me nervous. So given polling like this, you would think that Democrat operatives would have some big plan to try to counter the devastating defeat heading their way, or at least minimize the damage. Instead, they have none, and they don't even seem to care. Headline Washington Post on Monday, Democrats approach a midterm message but struggle to deliver it. And this quote in the story I find particularly interesting. Quote, "There is as much a plan to win the midterms as there was to airlift Afghans out of Kabul," said one Democratic political advisor who remains close to the White House. They're putting us all in a bad place. The advisor who spoke in the condition of anonymity to speak candidly about the party's prospects was referring to the Afghanistan withdrawal, blah, blah, blah. But there are two ways to interpret that. Now, one, they're just completely incompetent, totally possible, if not likely. But two, they don't need a plan because they have it fortified already. How else are you going to roll into such a disaster? Maybe you accept that it's a disaster and you don't care. I suppose that's another explanation. But the idea that they're rolling into what the polling suggests is coming their way with a certain level of apathy, I think we should take with a little bit of alarm. And to that point, the DNC chair this week on MSNBC agreed with the premise that this is war and that Democrats cannot and should not fight fair in the fall elections.
I agree with you about mainstream media talking about the Democrats are in disarray. Let's talk about the fascists on the other side. I want you to take a listen. We have Roland Martin on. Okay. The beginning of the show. And Brother Roro is never shy about giving his opinion. I know. So he had a lot to say about what he thinks Democrats should be doing. I want you to take a listen and get your thoughts.
Sounds good. They've got to be willing to engage in war. You cannot play fair with people who don't play fair. There are no rules. The other side has shown that they will do whatever is necessary in order to win. So you've got to say, America, when they didn't care about you, we did.
What are your thoughts? I felt like that was a good roadmap.
Well, it is a good roadmap. And Roland, I want you to know I'm going to Kentucky and Arkansas. I'm going to be in Mississippi and Alabama.
Okay.
Fine. You guys want to do this. Let's get in the mud.
They apparently do. The line there, the simplified reasoning is the fascists are at war with us, so anything goes. And you have the party chair saying that's a good roadmap. Okay. Is that just exaggeration? We have exaggerated political talk all the time. Or is that a tell of some sort of new level of fortification beyond what we saw in 2020? Could 2022 be the new record holder for the most secure, most popular election of all time? I guess.
Do you think they're just going to turn it around?
Well, I can't count on them just to lay down and accept defeat. I certainly can't count on them to honestly persuade voters. I have to count on underhanded tactics. They're telling me right there. That's their game plan. Underhanded, out of bounds tactics.
Yeah, why aren't we doing that?
Well,
you're going to listen to this and be like, oh, we still need to play on the straight and narrow. Why? Fuck these people.
Their premise is that we are. I suppose there's an argument to be made. Well, you want to call us fascists who don't play by the rules? I suppose if that's the way that things are, maybe we just do that then. Maybe we just I obviously I take no interest or joy in that, but I don't know how you resolve with someone like this who says the things that they're saying. That
you know what you have to do. You have to compromise your principles and you have to fight dirty. That is the only way we're going to beat these people. Well, if we even can.
Survival is the ultimate principle. I will agree with you on that. And I don't know. I think you have a moral obligation to maintain those principles as long as possible, absent some sort of survival situation. They're outright telling us we don't care about the system. We'll use whatever underhanded tactics we want.
Yes.
That is the.
And we should listen. We should listen. They've already done it.
That's the political equivalent of a burglar in your home pointing a gun at you and saying, "Get on the ground."
See,
what are you supposed to do? I mean, at that point, it's a situation they created. It's a situation they want.